Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Matt here from Chilled TCG. So today we're going to be taking a look at the top 16 deck lists from the Chill Series Last Chance Qualifier Tournament, which wrapped up this past Wednesday. It was an awesome tournament. Unfortunately, the 31 people who were already qualified for the Invitational weren't able to play, so the numbers were a little bit lower than usual. However, the tournament was fantastic. Thank you everybody for playing. It was always fantastic to give that last person a chance at making the Invitational. It's one of my favorite parts of the season. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the standings. So we had plenty of great decks this week in our top 16. Now you'll notice that there's definitely a lot of repeats. So the variance of decks wasn't too high. I believe we had like 6 E-Turn and like 5 Pikarom or something crazy like that, 3 ADPs, and maybe a couple other ones thrown in there, but yeah, it wasn't anything too crazy. We're going to fly through this video. We're going to try to get through it kind of quick. I want to give everybody their shout-outs, give everybody their credit. However, I don't want to cover the same deck list multiple times in depth, right? That's just sort of how things go. So we're going to get right into it. And we're going to start off at number 16, which is Veena. So big shout-out to Veena. He is a channel member. Speaking of channel members, guys, if you click join down below, it's only $1.99 a month. You get free entry into all of these tournaments. You also get access to monthly giveaways, special Discord roles, and a few other benefits as well. It's only $1.99 a month. Definitely go check it out. It supports the channel, supports me. So, all right, let's move into it. We're going to take a look at Veena's deck list. He's from Brazil. Shout out to Veena. He was playing Pikarom. Pikarom had a very good outing for this tournament. And looking at this Pikarom list, I believe this is the exact same Pikarom list that ended up winning the tournament. Spoilers. But this is probably the most common Pikarom list that we're going to see these days. In my opinion, this is the best deck in the format. Just flat out. I know a lot of people think E-Turn is the best. That's definitely a good choice. You could pick ADP if you're one of the ADP fans. Centiskorch is also very good. But for my money, I would say that Pikarom is the best deck right now in the standard format. And this is the deck list that I would be running. And I think that everyone should be running when they're playing Pikarom. 3 Boltons, very important. One thing that really just, I guess, is a bit different compared to maybe some other Pikarom lists. We have 4 Crushing Hammers on top of 2 Yell Grunts. Energy Denial is just so good against so many different matchups. If you're able to find those hammers and those Yell Grunts early on in the game, your Eternatus matchup is drastically improved, and that is mainly the reason why we run these cards. We can even Eldegoss for that Yell Grunt back on turn 2 or turn 3, and just really keep them on the ropes while we accelerate energy and boost our damage. And that's really the name of the game here with Pikarom. And the energy acceleration is fantastic. The consistency for this deck is also fantastic between the 4 Marnies, 4 Research. You got 4 Quick Balls in there. Cherish Ball. You have 2 Dedenes to find Pokemon as well. You have a Crobat. You just have so much stuff to find the cards that you need. And almost every card in this deck has a really good and useful purpose. So shout out to Veena. This is a very good deck list. It's, in my opinion, the best deck in the game. Like this exact 60, I think, right now, until Pikarom gets further cracked and people kind of figure out the list a little bit more. For right now, that is definitely the best deck in my opinion. So huge shout out to Veena. Comment below what you guys think the best deck in the format is. I thought, in my opinion, it's that exact Pikarom list right there. Next up, we're going to take a look at Ultra NKO. Ultranico. He's from the US, and he was playing E-Turn. So we're going to take a look at 6 different E-Turns list in this top 16, and I'll be interested to see how these are different. Okay, just looking at this is Big Charm Eternatus. And this is something that Zach Lesage has recently shown me and started to play. In my opinion, for the money, like if you're not going to go the poison route with E-Turn, this is the best way to play Eternatus. I can kind of give down or run down a little bit of the reasons here. Mainly, it's just straight E-Turn, but we are running 3 Zigzagoons and we're running 3 Spiritombs. That's actually very important to keep in mind. Because we're running Big Charms. We only have 2 in this deck, but 2 goes a long way. Big Charms allows us to... Big Charm, it allows us to attach that to Eternatus and somehow just have 370 HP, which lives 2 hits almost from almost every Pokemon right now in the game. Pikarom cannot 2-hit KO you for the most part, right? They're going to have to... Actually, I don't even think they can, right? Like they can tandem shock for 160, and then they can tag bolt for 200, and they're still not doing enough. So Big Charm on E-Turn is just extraordinarily good, but it's also really good on Spiritomb. It brings Spiritomb up to 90 HP, which means you can put 8 damage counters on Spiritomb, and that puts you up to well, what is that in terms of damage? Is that 240 or something wild like that, or 250? I don't know. Your damage can go very high with Spiritomb with that 30 extra HP. Boosts it by 60, so I think it's maybe like 210 or something like that. Either way, extraordinarily crazy. Spiritomb, it's a very good single prize attacker in this deck, and Big Charm just makes it that much better. We have the Yveltal as well as a pivot for free retreat. And then we have an Absol, which it increases the retreat cost of basic Pokemon that are in the active spot. This can also be kind of good to kind of lock your opponent into the active spot. Sometimes it's a good disruption card for the most part. I don't know if it's entirely useful. It can, sort of hinder Zacians in a way sometimes. Or Pikarom, just kind of increase, these Pokemon's retreat cost, which typically use Air Balloon to free retreat. Things like Mewtwo, Raichu, Boltund. There's a wide variety of basic Pokemon that are very common with the retreat cost of 2, and they utilize Air Balloon. Absol's going to make it so they have to have that extra energy on there. Or pay that extra energy to retreat. So I kind of like that in terms of Absol. I think it's a good play right now in the format. Everything else is pretty standard. We have 4 Hammers. Again, like I said, Hammers is just super good. Not only is it good against ADP, but it's good against the Eternatus mirror. If you're playing E-Turn and you go against another E-Turn and you're not running Hammers, you're not going to have a good time, especially if they are running Hammers, right? So Hammers, it's not a consistency card. It's coin flips, but you know what? It's just proven to be extremely useful right now in the format. So yeah, this is this E-Turn list, 10 energies as well, 4-3 lineup. I like this list a lot. And in my opinion, I think this is the best way to play E-Turn. I think Poison does have its advantages, Poison E-Turn, but I like that one as well. Next up, we have Sebastian L from the US. He was playing ADP, so let's take a look at his ADP list. ADP is about to get super busted now that Shining Fates released today. It has Rusted Sword, so this was before Shining Fates came out. So this deck list, these ADP lists aren't going to be necessarily entirely relevant, but you know what? This is what ADP looked like before that busted Rusted Sword came out. So yeah, everything's pretty standard here. We do see 2 Mawiles in the list, which I guess is a little bit different. And no Eldegoss, so that's one thing to mention. But we do have 4 Boss and 1 Great Catcher, so we have plenty of different gusting options. And I suppose Eldegoss could be really nice in this list, but maybe an extra Mawile is even better. Who knows? But otherwise, it seems to be pretty much consistency. We don't have Hammers in here. We have 3 E-Switch, 2 E-Spinners, and 1 Tool Scrapper, so that's really going to help us consistently get our matchups out. We have a Zigzagoon in here as well. I suppose that's for the Mewtwo. Zacian does hit 260 with the Altered Creation GX boost, plus the Zigzagoon ping that puts you up to 270. That KOs, I think actually it KOs quite a bit of things. Like, I think that gets you in range for Reshizard, it gets you in range for Mewtwo, as well as Eggrow as well. So I guess that Zigzagoon can be really clutch, actually, but again, you have to get that ADP, GX attack off. But we do have 3 Water Energies, 3 E-Switch, and 2 Spinners to really make that as consistent as possible. We have 2 Big Charms as well in here, and this is Big Charm is really good in my opinion. Mainly you slap that onto ADP and you can kind of make sure that you are living against Eternatus, which is extremely useful. They have to ping you 4 extra times. Poison can do that. Probably no problem, but most E-Turn lists aren't going to have access to playing down 4 Zigzagoons in one turn, right? So I think that Big Charm is really good in this list, and then Air Balloon, of course, for that Zacian and all your other Pokemon to get free retreat. So I like this ADP list a lot, actually. I think if you're not running Hammers, I think this is definitely a really good way to go. I'm not sure if 2 Mawiles is better than 1 Mawile and an Eldegoss. Personally, I would probably run Eldegoss in this ADP list, but you know what? I think it's super, super cool. Let me know down in the comment section below if you think that running 2 Mawiles is actually a good idea right now in ADP. Cool to see, though. Definitely cool to see. Big shout out to Sebastian there for that ADP list. He got 14th in the tournament. Next up, we're going to take a look at Black Snack, and he was playing E-Turn. Let's see if his E-Turn list is any different. Okay, so it's a little bit different. It's more of a disruption version than Big Charm's version of E-Turn. Just off the gate, we see 1 less Zigzagoon. We do see the Absol in there with 2 Yveltals. I do like 2 Yveltals in E-Turn. We do not have Spiritomb, which is one thing to note. But we also have a Hoopa. That Hoopa is also a very good single prize attacker. Personally, I do prefer Spiritomb, but if you're not running Big Charms, maybe that Hoopa is better. There's also the Evil Admonition Hoopa, which is also good too, so maybe that's also a good choice. Yeah, this is sort of disruption only because we have 4 Hammers, 1 Reset Stamp, and 2 Power Plants, right? So we're really kind of focusing on that Pikarom matchup, that ADP matchup, and we're kind of really hoping to disrupt our opponent with that Absol as well. To really put them in a slower position, right, to slow down their pace, because our pace of this deck is a little bit slow in its own right. I like the 10 basic energies. I forgot to mention that earlier. 10 basic energies in Eternatus, no special energies, is very good in my opinion. You can consistently get the Power Accelerator off, which is honestly what you want to be doing on your first turn with E-Turn these days. Getting those 2 energies on the board is just extremely important with how many Crushing Hammers and Team Yellgrunts and whatnot right now are in the format. So 10 basic energies, definitely super, super good. And yeah, I mean, everything else is kind of standard. 4 Boss, 4 Research, 3 Marnie. I like that. 4-4-4 lineup for E-Turns and Crobat. I like this. I like this list, personally. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what I would change about it. So definitely super cool. Again, you can kind of see how people kind of change E-turn slightly to favor certain matchups, and you can kind of take a lot of different paths with E-turn to VMAX, and it makes it a bit better in my opinion. And I don't know. It's kind of interesting. So there's plenty of different ways to play E-turn. People are playing tons of different ways. So just let me know, like, what's your favorite way to play E-turn to VMAX? Comment below. I want to hear it. Next up, we have Succubus. Scubicus. Okay. He's playing E-turn as well. Let's take a look at his E-turn list. This looks like Poison E-turn. And it is. So look at that. In 3 E-turn lists so far, we've seen 3 different versions of E-turn. So this one's Poison, and I covered this actually a few weeks ago because it did win one of our tournaments, I think Chill Series 18, maybe 19 actually. But it won a recent tournament, Poison E-turn, and it's a very powerful list, probably one of the most powerful attacking decks right now in terms of damage output. Between the 270 on E-turn, between the Poison increased damage for Toxicroaks, you can do up to 200, I think it's 240 damage, 340 damage. 310, 340 in one turn, which is just ridiculous. It's going to one-shot everything right now in the format, even other E-turns, which is absolutely ridiculous. But Poison, it's not as consistent as other variants, it stands to reason whether it's better, right? But it recently kind of returned back to the format and saw some success recently, and I like Poison E-turn. Originally, a while ago, I thought it was the best version before people were playing like Big Charms and Crushing Hammers, which overall kind of helps more in more matchups right now in the format. But right now, Poison E-turn is still very good, so definitely very interesting. Of course, Slowbro to put the poison onto your opponent's Pokemon. We have Dark City, Hiding Energy, and 4 switch cards to switch and retreat in and out so we can go back into E-turn after we have the poison. And then, of course, running a 4-3 lineup of Croagunk and Toxicroak, which increases the poison damage between checkups, right? So definitely very, very cool. It's a cool original list. And I might build something similar to this when Crobat VMAX, well, it's already out now, Crobat VMAX, but I do want to make a list on Crobat VMAX. But anyway, yeah, this is Poison E-turn. I don't have too much else to say about it. If you guys are interested, go check out that the Poison E-turn video. I made a specific video where I covered this list in depth, so yeah, definitely go check that out. Shout out to Scubicus at 12. Awesome. Next up, we have Manuel Gonzalez Fernandes. He is from Chile. And he was playing ADP, so this is our second highest placing ADP of the tournament. Let's see if his list is any different. Okay. Yeah, it is a bit different here. Okay, so in this list, we are running a bit more Pokemon. I suppose we are running 2 Mawiles, but we're running 2 Jirachi Amazing Rares, which is actually very interesting. And then we have an Eldegoss V in there as well. So a lot of draw support, a lot of consistency cards thrown in here. We have 3 Dedenes as well. Holy cow. So, in 1 Crobat, yeah, tons of draw support in this deck. There's no Crushing Hammer, so this looks like a max consistency build for E-turn. We do have the Skyla, the Clutch Skyla here in ADP, not in E-turn. Yeah, Clutch Skyla here in ADP. You can find that trainer card, whether it's E-Switch, whether it's Viridians, whether it's E-Spinner. You can kind of search out any of those cards to find your water energy with Skyla, so it's actually kind of useful if you find that at some point in the game, which is kind of cool. 4 E-Switch instead of 3, so going just all in on the energy switches here. 2 E-Spinners, however, we're only running 1 water energy. So this deck, I feel like, really focuses on getting that GX attack off in 1 turn. It doesn't really want to attach the water energy and then pass. That's not something that it probably loves to do. But you know what? This is something where if you're going second, you can almost pretty often get that GX attack off, get the metal in the water on ADP in that 1 turn going second. So I think that's probably the strategy for this list in particular. We don't see Zigzagoon in here, but we do see Vitality Band for the same purpose. You put that on Zation and you're doing 270, KO all of those tag team Pokemon. Very, very good. Only 1 Air Balloon and no Big Charms, which is kind of interesting. So you know what? You pick and choose with this deck. We do see a Viridians instead of Chaotic Swell, which I kind of like. Everyone's running Swell right now, and your matchup against Welder decks isn't that terrible if you don't draw properly, right? So I think that Viridians is honestly the smarter play in ADP. You just consistently get that water energy out more. You get to discard a card as well, so that can also kind of work with synergy. You discard the middle energy, find the water energy, saucer it on, and E-switch it to ADP. So I like Viridians a lot in ADP right now. Tool Scrapper as well, because a lot of people are running Big Charm these days, like on Mewtwo and whatnot. And Rowegg and all these other decks. So Tool Scrapper, also very smart. This is kind of a clever ADP list, and I like it. I like looking at this, and I think that it's actually super, super cool. So, but big shout out to Manuel there. I love that ADP list now that I think about it. Next up, we have Ledlomas. I'm not sure. He's from Argentina, and he was playing E-Turn, so let's see what his E-Turn list is looking like. Okay, so this is Poison E-Turn, and it's the exact same list that we saw last time. So again, you can kind of see how Poison E-Turn is actually performing very well in terms of Eternatus VMAX decks, and you know, a lot of people kind of aren't giving Poison E-Turn the credit, and I kind of understand that it's less consistent. It's susceptible to hammers and whatnot, but you know what? I think that Poison E-Turn, the damage output is just so surprising. It can you know, kind of actually have a decent matchup against LukeMetal, just because you can KO stuff with that poison damage. You know, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like I haven't tested E-Turn too much. I know people, this is like all they play right now. It is one of the best decks in the format. So, and there's a kind of a big debate. I might do a poll on Twitter or whatnot. What's the best way to play E-Turn VMAX? Because I'm seeing so many different versions, and they're all seeing success, so it's really hard to kind of determine that. But yeah, that's the Poison E-Turn list. Like I said, go ahead and check out that YouTube video that I posted a few weeks ago if you want to, you know, go in depth on that list. So big shout out to Ledlomas from Argentina. Super cool. Next up, we have Francesco Catarino. Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. Anyway, he's from Italy, and he was playing Blound, so this is our 9th seed. So, you know, after this, we're going into top 8. This was our only Blacephalon in top 16, which is interesting, and it's actually Chrycephalon. Some people may know it as Tempozard, whatever you want to call it. It's just Welder Box. We have, you know, the Jirachi engine, 2 Cramorant, 2 Blacephalon, 2 Reshizard. Everything else in here makes total sense. We got the Zig, we got the Marshadow, Mewtwo, Oricorio. We got all the good stuff in here. 2 Dedennes, Crobat. Everything that you might possibly think of in Chrycephalon right now is in this list. And this is a very good Welder deck. If you're not playing Centiskorch VMAX, which we didn't see any in top 16, surprisingly, I think that this is probably your other best bet. Again, it's also kind of a debate which one is better, Chrycephalon, Blounds, or Centiskorch. They do different things. They have different sort of paces, but overall, at their core, they're pretty much the same deck. Yeah, people kind of change Chrycephalon Blounds around a little bit. Some people are running Ordinary Rod in the list. Some people are running... what else are they running in this list? I kind of forget. I'm not sure. I honestly forget. But yeah, I have seen Ordinary Rod in these lists, which is, I guess, good in some ways. I'm not really sure. It's, again, not a deck that I play personally too much, but you know what? It has plenty of success. It was the only Welder deck to make top 16, so definitely super, super cool. I love to see it. So big shout out to Francesco for being the only Welder deck to make it into top 16. So now we're moving on to top 8, and we're going to look at Ethan Orchard's list. He's from Great Britain. I was going to say UK. I guess there's a difference. I don't know. He was our highest placing ADP of the tournament at number 8, and let's see what his ADP list looks like. Okay, so this looks extremely similar to the last one that we saw. Just looking at it, the Pokemon lineup is a bit different. He's running one less Dedenne. He's not running Zigzagoon. He's running one less Zacian, and we have an Oranguru in here. So I guess that's the difference there. And then he's running one extra Air Balloon and one extra Water Energy. I'm not sure exactly where he found space because I forget exactly what was in the last deck. But 2 Mawile. So 2 Mawile is just like the wave right now when it comes to ADP. So I guess, you know, if you're looking to build an ADP list, maybe you run 2 Mawiles. Maybe it's just the play. To be honest with you, I have no idea. I don't play ADP anymore, at least. But I guess 2 Mawiles is sort of the move. And it's definitely very interesting. Comment below again. Yeah, so just let me know. Like, is 2 Mawile good? Should you run 2 Mawile in ADP? Is it clutch? Are you going to pop one turn 1, find one later in the game? I know Mawile's effect is extremely useful in ADP, so maybe running 2 of them is actually really good. Who knows? It can also be a really good attacker in some scenarios as well, so definitely super cool. So yeah, this is our number 8 placing ADP list. Big shout out to Ethan Orchard, our highest placing ADP of the tournament. Okay, now we're going to move into some more Pikarom focused decks. We have Ruben Mendoza. I think that's how you say it, Ruben. He's from, what is this, Mexico? Yep, went 9-4. He's playing Peak, so let's see if this is sort of the default Pikarom list. And it, oh, okay, it's not. This is interesting. Okay, so this is sort of a max consistency version of Pikarom without Crushing Hammers, without Yell Grunts. Personally, I feel like you should be running Hammers and Yell Grunts in Peak just to kind of help out with that E-turn matchup. But you know what? This deck list is probably very scary and very consistent. We see 3 Boltons as well as 3 Dedennes in the deck. We have 2 Pikarom and 2 Choo-Choo, so you're not prizing any of those vital cards. Very important to note. We got 4 Research, 4 Marnie, 3 Boss. I like all that. 4 Quick Ball, 4 Switch. We have 2 Reset Stamps in here, 2 Radars, and 1 Cherish Ball. So plenty of ways to find all of your Pokemon. We're running one tag switch, which you should be running, and then we have three air balloons and 2 big charms. So a total of 5 tool cards in this deck, where most of the time they're only running just the 2 air balloons and no big charm. And we also see 2 chaotic swell in here, which is absolutely crazy, instead of just 1, I think, typically. So yeah, it looks like they kind of took out the hammers and the yell grunts. They put in the big charms, another swell, another air balloon, and a Raichu and an extra Dedenne. So a lot of things that are very useful to the deck, things that make the deck list a little bit more consistent. I definitely like it. I think you can put that big charm on Peak. You could put it on to Dedenne, so it can't get ADP'd or whatnot. You can put it on a Mewtwo, get it out of E-turn range. So I do like Big Charm in this Pikarom list. I just don't know if it's better, than running Crushing Hammers in Yell Grunts. But who knows? This deck list did do very well. However, the list that won was running, the Yell Grunt and the Hammers. But again, just let me know in the comment section below. Which do you prefer? Do you think that this is the better way to play Peak, or do you think that Hammers and Yell Grunt is the better way? Either way, big shout out to Ruben there. It's always cool actually to see people sort of change a top tier list and do really well with it. Next up, we have Vinnie Fernandes from Brazil, and this is a throwback. We have Lightning Mewtwo. We don't see this list very often at all. I did make a video on this list back when Azul won like Chill Series number 10 or something crazy like that months ago. But yeah, this is, I guess it's kind of an updated version of Lightning Mewtwo. You'll see it's very similar to Pikarom, except that we're running just a massive variety of different GX attackers in here, so we can utilize with Mewtwo. And we're running Aurora energies instead of Speed energies. No hammers, no Yell Grunts, anything like that. But everything else is almost very similar. Again, the Pokemon lineup, very similar. We're running 3 Dedennes, which makes total sense because we like to get these things in the discard pile. Mewtwo is really good with Pikarom and Raichu. You get access to their attacks. And then with Aurora energies, you can use Incineroar, Naganadel, Vileplume, Gengar, Mimikyu, Greninja. We just have attackers for almost any scenario right now in the game, and I think that it's definitely a very cool deck list. Again, people just sort of played it less and less as time went on because it proved to be less consistent than just normal Pikarom. So that's one thing to note. But you know what? This is definitely a super cool list. And if you're interested in sort of a specific video on a separate list that I made, but very similar list, go check out that video as well. I posted that probably a month or 2 ago at this point. But yeah, definitely super cool, man. Big shout out to Vinny. I'd love to see it. It's definitely super cool. I'm very impressed by this deck list, my dude. And it's awesome to see Lightning Mewtwo make top 8 these days. I don't think we see that a whole often. So big shout out to Vinnie Fernandes. I'd love to see it. Next up, we have Xerneas, 12352. He's from Canada, and this was E-Turn, our second highest placing E-Turn of the tournament. What version is this? Okay, so this is Disruption E-Turn, except without Absol, I think. So we have 4 hammers and 2 power plants. Everything like that is pretty standard, but we have the 2-2-2 lineup between Goon, Spiritomb, and Yveltal. And those are all 3 very important cards to this list. Goon for damage modification, Spiritomb as a single prize attacker, and then Yveltal as free retreat pivot. They all have very specific purposes. Personally, I just like it a lot. 18 Pokemon in the deck, 12 supporters. Everything here is very consistent, very good. I like when decks are on two lines like this. It's very nice. But you know what? Again, just another take on a classic E-Turn list. And I think that Hammers is very good. I do think Big Charm is actually really cool right now in the format, but you know what? Maybe Power Plant is better, right? Maybe it's just better. Who knows, though? Honestly, who knows? 10 basic energies, I agree with that as well. So yeah, big shout out to Xerneas, bro. I love it. I love it. I like that list a lot. So big shout out to you, my man. Next up, we have Fabrizio, INSI Insa, 10. I don't know. He's from Peru, went 10-4. He's playing Peak. Yet another Peak. Let's take a look at this Peak Run list, see what it looks like. This is actually a bit different. I mean, it's actually exactly the same as the other one, like the one that we saw at the very beginning. However, instead of 2 Yell Grunts, he's running 1 Leon and 1 Yell Grunt. This is interesting. I'm trying to think about how the math works here. I suppose like with Tag Bolt, you could Leon and then Tag Bolt do 230 and 170, which could KO a Zacian and something on the bench. That's one thing to note. I guess Leon can work with Bolton as well to fix some math and some of those KOs. You're doing 180 with Full Blitz. You're doing 190 with Tandem Shock. So I'm just trying to think. Maybe it extends sort of the 2-hit KO easily for E-Turn, right? I think that may be a reason. Who knows? One thing to note, we're only running 1 Mewtwo in this list instead of 2, which I guess is not typically standard, and we run 4 Boss. So I guess you took out a Mewtwo, put in a Boss. It's interesting to note. I don't know if really you need Sorry, I'm just stretching. I don't know if you really need 2 Mewtwo's in Peak. I know it's a very good card, and it's in there for consistency reasons, but maybe 1 Mewtwo is fine. If you prize it, you might have a kind of a difficult time. If you prize, for an example, if you prize Mewtwo and Raichu, you're in a pretty tough spot. Like, that's not good for you, right? So maybe you want to run 2 Mewtwo. I don't know, but again, very similar to the last list that we saw, and it's honestly very cool, very good list. I think that at least 1 Yelgrun is definitely pretty good. 4 Hammer is definitely good. 1 Leon is interesting. Maybe I'll try Leon and Pikarom, though. Shout out to Fabrizio for getting top 4 with Leon Pikarom. Very cool. Next up, we have HDOS39 HDOS. He's from Australia. This is LukeMetal. This is our only LukeMetal in top 16. It got 3rd in the tournament. And here it is. It's just a basic, straight LukeMetal list. He's running hammers instead of Pokegears. Actually, one thing to note is he's not running Malolana, which is just crazy to me. Malolana seems like it's like almost needed in Pikarom, and he's only running 2 Coding Energies as well. So maybe he just kind of got lucky. Maybe he was like, you know what, I'm not facing Welder. I'm just going to make the call now. No one's going to make it in top 16 with Welder. Just an absolutely ridiculous meta call for him, I guess, or just just got lucky maybe. I don't know. Definitely cool to see. 2 stamps, 2 dolls, 4 goggles. Yeah, it's just LukeMetal, but without Malolanas, and he's got 4 hammers in here, and he's only got 2 Coding Energy. So it's like super interesting to me. But you know what? I kind of like it. I think it's bold. It's definitely kind of cool. Would I suggest you play this LukeMetal list at Hexters tonight or something? No, I probably wouldn't recommend it, but you know what? It's cool. It's definitely cool as heck. Yeah. I don't know. Very, very interesting. Big shout out to HDOS for that just absolutely ridiculous LukeMetal list getting 3rd. I don't even know. I have no idea. Next up we have Mef TRPD. This is RyanMefford. He made it to the finals from the US, 11-4. He was playing Eternatus, so let's see what his Etern list looks like. It's our 6th one that we're looking at. Okay, so this is kind of a mix between a lot of things here. The Pokemon lineup, we do have the Absol, but we do have the 3 Goons, 3 Spiritomb, 2 Yveltal, so very heavy on the Pokemon count, which is kind of cool. Interesting to note. All the supporters pretty standard. We have 2 Stamp in here with 2 Dangerous Drill, so no Crushing Hammers. But we have 2 Dangerous Drill, no Big Charm, but we do have an Ordinary Rod in here. This Ordinary Rod could be cool. You could find back those Spiritombs, put them back into your deck and pull them out to kind of finish off some games, maybe against Control or whatnot. Maybe you're finding your Goons. Maybe you're taking your Goons back. I have no idea what this Ordinary Rod is actually for, but I guess it can come in clutch. Maybe you shuffle your energies back. Like maybe you get hammered 4 times and you need those energies, so you put them back in your deck. That might be a good idea. Again, though, I don't know. It's definitely a very interesting E-turn list, and I think that Dangerous Drill is actually very underrated. But when you are running Dangerous Drill, you want to run a higher count of Pokemon. You want to have some extra left over, so I think that he did well with that. This list has some synergy. I like it a lot. It's interesting that this was the E-turn list that got to the finals, to be honest with you. I thought that a couple other ones that we saw here were a little bit more consistent overall. But you know what? Big shout out to RyanMefford here for getting second. Next up, we have RichardRuiz, our champion, our 32nd seed in the Invitational Tournament. He is from Peru. First in the tournament, man, 12-2-1. We are actually, we're going to do something different this week. We're actually going to go ahead and take a look at his list because, spoiler, this is the exact same Pikarom list that won last week at Chill Series number 20. So you know what? I'm not going to make a separate video on his list. I'm sorry, Richard. I can't make the same a video on the same list like in 1 week's time. So I apologize. We're not going to make a specific video on your list. I hope you're not too disappointed, but we are just going to go ahead and cover it. And like I said, this was the exact same list as our number 16 in our top 16 here, that first list that we looked at. I mean, like I said, this is the best deck list right now in the format. In my opinion, I think that this is the best deck right now. Pikarom is the best deck. This is the best way to play Pikarom, in my opinion. It's just extremely consistent. The hammers and the Yellruns, really help your matchup against ADP and E-turn, which are very powerful decks. And I think that overall they can be really useful against Welder decks too, like against against like Senti and whatnot. We have the boss. We can tag bold. I think that we win the Crycephalon matchup a lot of times as well. I think that this is it's just overall, I think, one of the most consistent and one of the most difficult decks to deal with right now in the format. It has a little bit of everything. It's got consistency. It's got denial. It's got flexibility between attackers. It's got paralysis. It's got energy acceleration. You can do chip. You can 2-hit KO things with Pigrom and Choo Choo. You can 1-hit KO stuff with Boltund. You got the air balloon. Most of these things have free retreat. You have the tag switch, so for surprise tackle, reset stamp for comeback potential, plenty of draw support, plenty of Pokemon search and whatnot. It's just a phenomenal deck list. It's got it all. And if you're gonna try to win a tournament right now, this is the deck list that you should be playing. I think that this exact list won Hexters a week or two ago. It's won Chill Series twice now in a row, and I'm sure it's won other stuff as well. So definitely very impressive, definitely very cool. But that's gonna wrap it up. We're just about 30 minutes. I actually stayed in line pretty well. We stayed in line pretty good. So definitely kind of awesome. Definitely awesome, man. Big shout out to Richard. Congrats on getting first place at the Chill Series LCQ, as well as making it to the Invitational. But that's going to wrap it up, guys. This was our top 16 deck list. Thank you guys so much for playing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I want to say yet again, if you guys want to support the Chill TCG community, support the prize pool for the Chill Series tournaments, click that join button below. It's only $1.99 a month. It's worth it. You get free entry into our tournaments. You get access to our giveaways. You'll get your money back. It's honestly a good investment of your money. It also supports me and it supports the community, so definitely go check that out. And lastly, guys, we're going to leave you guys on the note that the $3,000 GG Tour Regional Tournament is coming. It's actually tomorrow as I record this weekend. So if you're watching this on Friday the 19th, you better go register. It's $10 to play, but if you use the code CHILL2 at checkout, you get $2 off. So $8 to play. Top 32 win $50 cash. The winner gets like $500 or something absolutely wild like that. So it's you pay $8 to play. It's a whole lot of fun. You have a chance to win some crazy amount of cash. It's honestly probably one of the most legit tournaments. It's all best of 3 regional style. I highly suggest that you go play. All the info and link to register will be down in the description below, so go check it out. I'm going to wrap up this video because I've been talking for 32 minutes straight and my voice hurts. Click subscribe if you like the video. Like the video if you liked the video. Join the Chill TCG community down below if you want to support me in the community. I don't know. Okay, guys, we're going to peace out. Catch you guys later, and I will see you guys soon.